Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is Lesson 3-5 for Course 2, 4th period, Dividing Fractions and Mixed Numbers. So basically our goal is to do that, to divide fractions and mixed numbers and to solve problems by dividing. Okay, so here is our vocabulary and our key concept. To divide by a fraction, basically here, we say 3 divided by 3/4. We would actually do the problem 3 times 4/3, which then equals 4. 4/3 is the reciprocal of 3/4. Basically, to divide by a fraction, we multiply by its reciprocal. And actually, let's go ahead and write that down, because then you'll have it. For reference. To divide by a fraction, multiply by its reciprocal. Okay, algebraically speaking, A over B divided by C over D is equal to A over B times D over C, which is the reciprocal of C over D, for B, C, and D not equal to 0. Because remember, denominators cannot be equal to 0 because of the definition of fractions as numerator divided by denominator. You can't divide by 0. Okay. Now, two numbers are reciprocals if their product is 1. Okay, so here are a couple of examples. So for example, if I have the number 2/3 and I take 2/3 and I flip it over, find its reciprocal and get 3/2, I can prove that they're reciprocals because when I multiply them together, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6. It gives me 1 whole. Okay, so that's what that definition right there means. Most of the time we're not going to have to prove that two numbers are reciprocals, but if you need to, that's how you can do it. Basically, to take the reciprocal of a number, you just take that number or take that fraction and flip it over. Okay, so here we go. So if we want to divide with mixed numbers, we have 4 and 2/3 divided by 1 and 3/4. First thing we want to do is write the mixed numbers as improper fractions. Okay, and we've studied how to do this quite a bit. I'll review though. It's the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 14. So my numerator for the improper fraction is 14. My denominator remains as 3. 1 and 3/4 is 7/4. Let's go through that. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 gives me my numerator of 7. Denominator of 4 remains. Okay, so basically, once I have that, then my next step is to multiply by 4/7, which is the reciprocal of 7/4. So not only am I changing divide to times, I'm flipping the divisor. The divisor is always the second number or the number that you are dividing by in a division problem. Okay? So you want to be sure that you flip only that second number, never flip the first one. Okay? Okay. So now we can do some cross canceling here. So 14 and 7 have a common factor of 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Okay? 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so I get 8/3, and then I write that as a mixed number because 8/3 is an improper fraction. So remember to do that now. We take 8 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 2 times. You have a remainder of 2, so make your mixed number of 2 2/3. Okay, so basically that tells us that the number 1 3/4 goes into 4 2/3, 2 2/3 times. Okay. All right, let's move on. Our next example says that you have a piece of fabric that is 12.5 feet long. You need to cut it into strips that are 1 1/4 foot long. How many strips will you have? So to find out how many 1/4 foot long strips there are in 12.5 feet, we're going to divide 12.5 by 1 1/4. Okay? So first off, we're going to estimate 12 is about 12.5, well, let's call that about 12, excuse me. And 1 1/4 divided by, round that to 1. You could also make this 13. So this gives us about 12 or 13, depending what you choose. Okay, write the mixed numbers as improper fractions. So 12 times 2 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And my denominator remains as 2. My second one, 1 1/4, gives me 5/4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 gives me my numerator of 5. I'm going to then multiply, because I now have 25 halves divided by 5/4. Multiply by 4/5, which is the reciprocal of 5/4. So I'm going to rewrite the problem to be this. And then I'm going to divide 25 and 5 by their greatest common factor of 5. So 25 divided by 5 gives me the 5 up here. 5 divided by 5 gives the 1 down here. Also divide 4 and 2 by their greatest common factor of 2. 2 goes into itself 1 time. 2 goes into 4 twice. So 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. So it simplifies to 10. So that tells me that there are 10 1 1/4 foot strips of fabric in 12.5 feet of fabric. So is this reasonable? Well, 10 is pretty close to 12 or 13. So the answer is reasonable. Okay. So again, we have some quick checks for you to complete. Remember, basically our steps are, if they are not all fractions, turn everything into improper fractions. The next step is to take the reciprocal of the second fraction and multiply by the first fraction. Use cross-canceling when possible, and give it a shot. Bring in your work and your questions. Have these completed for the next time we meet in class.